He'd even given me a card. He'd saved a little boy in a fire and broken his back in the process. And this little boy had made a card for James, calling him a hero, saying thank you, and it was really lovely. And he showed me this early on in our relationship. And I was so touched because I thought, what a good guy, and he's saved this little lad. And I saw text messages from this little lad's parents thanking him, we owe you our son's life and all this stuff. And he'd been invited to this little boy's school on Heroes Day to do a speech, and he was going to go in his fire gear. And I kept that card. I was so proud of it. I still got that card to this day, to be honest. Kept it on my desk at work so I could look at it. And when I couldn't see him or he was out working, I'd think, bless him. Yeah, no, he'd never been a fireman. That card,
never a fireman.
I later found out was from his son saying, you're a hero, thank you for sorting, or whatever it said in it, because he'd fixed his computer for him. And he'd given me his son's card he gave to him and made me believe it was from a little boy whose life he'd saved, and then showed me all these fake messages and stories. And yeah, no, never been a fireman. The fire outfit he had, the uniform, he'd bought from an ex-fireman on eBay to, I believe, his wife, because we got friendly. He'd bought it to spice up their bedroom antics. So, because when she went to check for it, it had gone from under the bed, because he'd been starving it to use in his fake fireman life.
So at what point do you reach out to his wife?
Well, I did find out, because we were all still stunned how he knew so much about the fire service. It turned out his dad was very high up in the fire service. He'd spent his youth around fire stations with his dad, always wanted to be a fireman, but never did it.
Couldn't do it.
No. And that's how he knew so much information about it all. I actually, because like I said, I was quite distraught and, not in a good place for a week or two, but then I thought I need to speak to his mum. I've met her, she's Charlie's grandmother. So I had obviously a telephone number for her. She would text me and keep in touch. So I rang the number, just kept going to answer machine, kept texting on the number, didn't get any response. So I found her on Facebook. James has always said she didn't have much of a social media presence, so I never looked for her before. But then the girls, well, you can't believe a word he says. So, and it was the name. So the name he'd given me was real for her. So I found her on social media, and it was like, well, it says here she's a nursery nurse, or she's an ex-nursery nurse, something like that. Well, that's weird. She doesn't live in the south of France either. So I just messaged her on Messengers, thought, hi, it's Coleen, hope you don't mind me contacting you. I'm trying to ring you, but it's just going to answer machine. This is the number I've got. And then I got a message back saying, hi, Coleen, lovely to hear from you. Oh, I don't know whose number that is. That's never been my number. This is my number. Give me a ring. Right. So I rang her up and then she answered it. Hi, you all right? It'd be lovely to see you again soon. How's Charlie? And I just said, look, can I just interrupt you there? Can I just ask you what your son's called? She went, that's an odd question. You know what he's called? What are you asking me that for? And I went, just humour me. What's your son's name? She went, well, it's Greg. It's Greg Wilson. Well, that's not what I know him as. I know him as James Scott. And there's this pause, and then she must have turned to her husband and just went, oh my God, he's done it again. That's what she said.
Really? You heard that?
Yeah.
On the phone?
Yeah. And then we had an hour-long conversation. She'd never been in the sports industry. She'd never lived in the south of France. He told us she'd had breast cancer. One of the times she was supposedly coming to visit us, it got postponed at last minute, and I got these messages from her, and I was sending like gifts and stuff and condolence messages. And she had to have a double mastectomy, and she was finding it hard. She'd gone to doctor. He never had breast cancer either. There was no end to the lies that he told.